more in-depth analysis. We're now being joined by Amar Sinha, the former Indian envoy to Afghanistan. Ambassador Sinha, thank you so much for joining us. My first question to you, since morning we've been seeing some shocking scenes coming from the Kabul airport. Afghans desperately trying to flee the violence and what's coming their way in the future with the Taliban taking over. 5 people have been killed. The president, Ashraf Ghani, has fled. How do you view these developments? We have some technical issues getting Ambassador Sinha. We'll quickly get him back. For now, the latest update that we have for you is about the president, that is Ashraf Ghani. We have a news alert coming in about the president who fled yesterday, that according to the latest news, the Tajikistan government never allowed Ashraf Ghani's plane to land in Dushanbe. Ashraf Ghani is reportedly in Oman right now, and he will be leaving for the United States. Meanwhile, Taliban's political team is also expected to reach Kabul soon. We, of course, have been getting you all the alerts and the news developments taking place in Afghanistan as of now. The most recent one also being that at least 5 people were killed inside the Kabul airport amid the rush to leave the capital. This, of course, as US troops fired shots in the air at the Kabul airport to disperse the crowds at the tarmac. The chaos visuals, of course, have been shocking most of us since morning. Now we have Ambassador Amar Sinha back with us, the former Indian envoy to Afghanistan. Ambassador Sinha, my question to you, as I said, how do you view these developments taking place in Afghanistan as of now? 5 people killed in the violence and the chaos that we've seen at the Kabul airport recently.
Yes, it is, of course, very worrying. It has unleashed a humanitarian crisis, both of internally displaced persons and also people who are fleeing. Obviously, there is a panic. There's a panic and people want to get out, and panic is triggered by the fact that there's a huge trust deficit about Taliban. So I think it is for the Taliban leadership. I have been seeing what they have been saying. They have been trying to issue reassuring statements, but they will have to, the top leadership will have to reassure people that there'll be no bloodshed, there'll be no revenge killing, and only then this panic will subside a bit. I think last night, what we saw, there is of course chaos at the airport, but otherwise the city was relatively calm. One didn't hear of any major attacks or any killings. And of course it has been triggered by President Ghani taking this sudden decision rather than transferring power, of just abdicating and fleeing. That was, I think, in fairly bad taste and has left everybody in a lurch and very nervous.
Ambassador, given your experience, what can you say about the future of Afghanistan? The Taliban have said that the war is over and they've taken control of Kabul, and they have said that they will soon declare the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan from the presidential palace. How do you view the future of Afghanistan, especially the women and children?
Well, whatever name they give, that I think is not important. It is how they run the government. The fact is that political power has shifted out of President Ghani's hands. And it has gone to Taliban, and they would be taking over the administration. So that is a new reality that all of us will have to deal with. For women and children, of course, what they have been saying is that all the rights would be assured as per Sharia. But then, of course, that depends on their interpretation of Sharia and Quran. But some of the minimum rights which they have been repeatedly sort of told, or in a sense of reassuring people, is that women would allow with certain restrictions. We just hope that Taliban does not try to pull Afghanistan back into dark ages, and they have learned from their own experience and these 20 years of bloody war that they have fought. But having achieved power, I think they should act more responsibly. The first signs are encouraging, and I hope they continue with that.
Right. Ambassador, how do you view the US's role in all of this? Many experts and analysts say that the US decision to pull out troops so quickly may have undone 20 years of progress in the country.
You see, that decision was, well, when one can argue that it was very quick, but if you went by President Trump's plan, this pullout should have happened or finished by 1st of May. President Biden, whatever window of opportunity he got to review, he delayed it by 2 or 3 months. One can argue both ways. Ultimately, that war had to end, and Afghans had to be given a chance to sort of reconcile and start reconstructing their own country. It cannot be perpetually run with the presence of foreign troops or foreign assistance. And that is something that all Afghans will have to sit together and do it. And I am very happy to see that President Karzai and Hikmatyar and Abdullah have issued a very sort of trying to play a very constructive role in terms of the transition of power, and our concern really should be that it should be as bloodless as possible.
Right, Ambassador Sinha, thank you so much for joining us on WION World is One at this hour and for all your analysis. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.